I always get this question. What is the minimum amount required to start selling on Amazon? मेरे पास बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं और बोलते हैं कि दे आर नॉट वर्किंग, सो उनके पास उतने पैसे नहीं होते इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए। वो हमेशा पूछते हैं मिनिमम इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है टू स्टार्ट सेलिंग ऑन Amazon. If you are a housewife and you have little savings that you want to start selling on Amazon, then what are those different things where you can invest your money in? And if you are a business owner or you are working in a corporate company like me and looking to explore Amazon FBA as another opportunity or side income, then this video is also for you. Here I will break down each and every expense or investment that is required to get started selling on Amazon. So without much ado, let's get started and let's get to the screen. So before we talk about the different points, I would just like to mention that we also have a Facebook group free for everyone where you can ask your questions and the community will do every possible way to help and answer your questions. Again, we are also have presence on Instagram where we normally share videos and lectures and tips and tricks on Amazon FBA. So now let's get started and talk about what are the investments required to get started on Amazon FBA. So first up, as you can see on the left hand side, we have a category which is called mandatory investment. This is something that is definitely required and you cannot do away with if you want to sell on Amazon. The first subcategory here is legal setup, right? There is some sort of legal setup that you will have to do in order to get started selling on Amazon. So the first expense here is the GST registration, right? Now you can simply go to the GST portal and register yourself. It will cost you 0 rupees. It is totally free of cost. But if you want to take some expert help, whether it is a CA or whether it's some agency, then they will normally charge you 500 rupees. This is a one-time fee and you should usually get your GSTIN number by a week or 10 days. The next expense is seller registration on Amazon, right? Again, as you can see here, there is no cost involved whether you do it via yourself or using through an agent. Registering yourself as a seller on Amazon is completely free of cost. The next is if you want to sell your goods through Amazon, right? If you want to register yourself as an FBA seller, which entitles you the Prime badge, and Amazon takes responsibility of all the packaging and delivering your goods to the customer. In that case, you have to register your business on Amazon as a FBA, right? You have to register Amazon warehouses as your additional place of business. Again, similar to GST, you can do it yourself. It's a very straightforward process where you tell these warehouses are my additional place of business. But in case you need some help and want to get the process faster, then you can take help of services. They normally charge 800 to 900 rupees and deliver the work in 2 days. The next one is GTIN exemption or category approval. So this is very specific to Amazon, right? And for selling in any particular category, you need to get approved before you can start listing products, right? Now, in this case, what Amazon requires you to provide is some proof that you are the brand owner, right? Now, this can be a box packaging along with the product image, which will cost you 20 rupees, right? Because the wrapping or the packaging will cost you 20 rupees. Other than that, all you have to do is take three photographs or three pictures of your product, submit it to Amazon, and they will approve you. You can also get help of some account management services who will charge 500 rupees to get this done for you. This process normally takes 1 day or 2 days. The next one is current account. Again, any bank near you will be able to provide you with a current account free of cost. This is because you will be having a lot of to and fro transactions from your account into Amazon and out of Amazon. The next one is a company stamp. Again, there will be a lot of legal documents that you might have to stamp and sign, and that is why a company stamp is always recommended. A normal stamp will cost you 200 rupees, whether you do it yourself or whether you go to any portal online. And currently you will find there are a lot of stamp mart, and there are a lot of other websites which do it online for you as well. So this was all about legal setup, right? Next up we have product cost, or the initial costs of good, right? So this is basically the amount that you spend to procure the goods from supplier. This will be your inventory, right? So let's jump in, and I'm assuming here that the cost of the product is 250 rupees, and we are starting with 100 quantity, right? 100 units of the product. So as you can see here, basically 250 into 100, which is 25,000 rupees. Now if you do it via an agent or a sourcing company, then they might charge a commission of 1,000 rupees for this amount to basically help you find the right supplier for your product. Okay. The next cost is to label your products that you have sourced with the MRP label, as well as with the FNSKU label, which identifies your particular product to Amazon. Okay, so the cost of printing is very minimal, and for this the inventory, right, for 100 units of good, I've considered 3 rupees per label for MRP and FNSKU, totaling to 300 rupees, whether you do it yourself or you using any stationery shop help, right? The next one is transportation cost, and there are two types of transportation cost that you will have to bear. The first one is from the supplier to your place, right? Whether you have a warehouse or you're going to get the goods to your own place, you will have to bear some cost in terms of the transportation by truck carrying your goods. This will be close to 1,000. Again, this varies, right, depending from the place your supplier is and where your residence is, right? If you're getting goods from Delhi and you're staying close to Chandigarh or Punjab, then it will be very cost effective. But if you're in Delhi and you're staying in South India, like me, if you're staying in Bangalore, then you have to spend close to 2,000 for a truck, right? So I've considered an average of 1,000 here, but this is a variable expense depending upon the location and other demographics. The other one is transportation cost from your place to Amazon warehouses, right? Where you will be sending the goods to Amazon warehouses so that Amazon can pack it and deliver it to your buyers or customers. This will ideally, again, this would be a to and fro transport from your place to the warehouse and then back again. So I'm again, depending upon the location of the warehouse, whether you live in a city or a rural area, this might vary. I've taken an average of 1,000 rupees, right? Now, these sum up all the mandatory investments that are required, and if you do it yourself, it will cost you 27,520. With the help of an agent, it does not vary significantly, so it's approximately 30,000 rupees, right? Now, we'll quickly cover what are some of the optional expenses that you should do or you might want to do to scale up your business on Amazon. So let's take a look on the first one, which is account based expenses, right? So the first one is account management. Now, if you are an experienced seller, right, who has been selling on Amazon for a long time, you can do it yourself, right? There are a lot of things to manage, like advertisements, inventory, pricing, the listing quality, keyword research. So all of these things you can do yourself if you know how to do them. If you do not, or if you're too busy to handle everything, then you can seek the help of services that are there, right? Amazon itself provides some services, and you can also reach out to third parties to provide the service to you. A typical cost would be something around 5,000 to 10,000 per month. The 10,000 one are basically sellers who are quite experienced and handle your account really well. So I would recommend you to spend a bit on the higher front here so that you are sure that your account is in the right hands, right? The next one is product photography. Again, nowadays smartphones have really good cameras and they have the capability to take really good high resolution images, so you can take images yourself, which will be free of cost for you. But if you take the help of any services or any photography studio, then you might have to pay close to about 1000 to 1500 rupees to get the photographs taken. They will normally help you take 6 to 7 photographs high resolution that you can add on your Amazon listing. The next one is Amazon advertisements. Right now, this is again an optional one, but I would consider this close to a mandatory investment. Right, without running advertisements today, it is very difficult to scale up and reach the right audience. So I'm assuming 10% of 10% of investment compared to your original cost of goods, which is in this particular example 2500 as the cost of advertisements. Right, so again an optional investment, but a very much required investment from an Amazon perspective. Okay, the next sort of investment is influencers. Again, I would not recommend influencers for a budget which is very small, like this one in case 25,000. But in case you are sourcing more than 1,000 units and the cost of each product is close to, let's say, 500 or 700 rupees, then you might seek the help of an influencer to create a review video which you can then share on different platforms as well as Amazon. Right, so influencers normally charge you 3,000 rupees for a video of length 5 to 10 minutes. So that is how it goes, but again, depending upon the quality of influencer and the presence they have on social media, they can charge differently as well. The next one is analytical tools, which when I say analytical tools, I mean tools like Helium 10, Jungle Scout, Viral Launch, which will give you analysis on how your product as well as how your competitors products are doing. Right, so again, if you are using account management, you might not need this, but if you're doing everything yourself, then you will definitely need this to understand which keywords are ranking, what are the competitors, who are the competitors, and whom to track and spend money upon. So this will cost you close to 3,000 rupees, and this is again irrespective of where you buy from. This is the minimum amount that you will have to spend. The next one is again a really tricky one here, because and the reason I've mentioned here in green is because it's a one-time expense. Again, Amazon requires a lot of learning for you, right? And basically there are a lot of terms and a lot of processes involved, a lot of advanced strategies that you have to learn before you can start selling on Amazon. So I would highly recommend one to spend a lot of money in learning these things. Right, a good course on Amazon, if you check online, would approximate to about 5,000 to 10,000 in rupees. I've taken an average of 8,999, which is the mentorship program price that we offer right now. Now the reason it is in green, because once you have learned the concept, you will not be spending on account management fees. If you remember, right, this fees 10,000 rupees is a monthly fees, and if you just spend this amount today in your learning, within 2 months you will be saving 10,000 every month on the account management service. Right, so in the long run it is a savings of 10,000 every month. And again, as I mentioned, right, it is something that I would recommend each and everyone to get started. It gives you much more control to be, handle your account and scale up on Amazon. Okay, so that's all about our optional investment, and our total optional investment amounts to 15,000, close to 15,000 if you do it yourself, and then it is close to 16,500 if you do it via an agent. But consider here, if you do it yourself, this is a one-time fee of 15,000, but if you do it via an agent, this is close to 16,000 every month. Right, so that is a huge difference here. And then if we total both the mandatory and optional investments, it is close to 42,000 per month, not per month, but 42,000 for your initial first product, and 46,000 if you go it via an agent. Again, as I mentioned, for agents you might have to pay an account management fees every month, but that's all that you have to think about in terms of selling on Amazon. So as you can see, guys, it's not very complicated. It does not sound overwhelming as well. There are only few things that you want to consider. If you want this Excel sheet and you want to make changes so that it automatically calculates what would be your initial investment, you can find the link to download the Excel sheet in the description below. And if you like the video or if you have any questions, you can mention it on the comments below as well. Okay, again, the links to the Facebook group and the Instagram account are there in the description as well. So yeah, you can definitely join and make use of the free community to get your questions answered at any point of time. That's all for now. In our next video, we'll talk about other advanced strategies and other techniques which can help you start selling on Amazon.